Grant was stuck. He worked for a major car rental company, and he realized he was spending the majority of his days in activities that neither engaged nor energized him. He hated dealing with irate customers. He didn't like completing endless boilerplate contracts. He hated reciting the same exact script every day. But most of all, he hated feeling as if he didn't matter. He didn't want to be a small, unimportant cog in a giant corporate machine. Yeah, I'm just reading it from the book. It's super hard to make a good intro, okay? In this video, we're going to be addressing the dysfunctional belief that lots of us have which holds us back, and it's that I'm stuck. But we can reframe this problem as I'm never stuck, because I can always generate a lot of ideas about what to do. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Tintin, and this is the 5th video in a series about this book, Designing Your Life, by the legends Bill Burnett and Dave Evans. We're going over the tools and techniques needed to know how to build a life and a career that you really love. This process is called life design. In the last video, we spoke about wayfinding, which is the art of finding your way when all you've got is a compass. Now we're going to be talking about the art of getting unstuck, because we all feel stuck in different ways at different times in our life, especially in our careers. And so it's super important to know how to get unstuck. We don't need to worry about getting stuck, because getting stuck is part of the design process and can even be a catalyst for creativity if you know what to do. The way to get unstuck is to generate lots and lots of ideas. There's this dysfunctional belief which is that I have to find the one perfect idea, but we can reframe this problem as I need a lot of ideas so that I can explore lots of options for my future. Bill and Dave say in the book that you can't know what you want until you know what you might want, so you have to come up with lots of ideas and possibilities for your future. The trick here is to come up with lots of ideas and really stretch your mind, because it's really easy to get stuck on your first idea or trying to find the perfect idea. But believing that there is one perfect idea and one perfect life for you is a really dangerous way to live, and it can put a lot of pressure on making the right decisions. But one of the central philosophies of life design is that there's no one perfect life for you. There are so many different things that you could do that would work really well for you, and you could still have an amazing life. So when it comes to generating ideas, the most predictable path to quality is quantity. So we just have to generate loads of different random ideas. And the number one enemy of creativity is judgment. So you have to watch out for your own judgment of your ideas, because that can really hold you back. Sometimes you have to go through the wild ideas to get to the best ideas. So let's generate some ideas. And the way that we're going to do that is by using a mind map. And at the center of the mind map, we're going to put a task or an activity that really energizes and engages us. Then we're going to come up with 5 or 6 things that relate to that central activity or task. And then we're going to do 5 or 6 things for each of those things as well. The quicker you do it, the less time there is for judgment. So hopefully you can do all of this in less than 5 minutes. Here's me doing one to show you what it's like. Hey, so I'm in the kitchen. It's a little bit dark, sorry about that. But I actually got it wrong in the video. I said that we were going to be doing something about a mind map around something that engages us or excites us. But actually, we're going to be doing 2 more mind maps later on in this video. But the first one that we're going to do is going to be around a general topic that excites us. So this could be like being outdoors, it could be gaming, it could be cooking, it could be sport. For me, I'm going to put education, because that's, I think, the world of work that I want to be in. And I'm going to put that in the middle of the mind map. And you can see that I've got my setup here with my colored pencils and my mind map. And I'm just going to draw around it 5 or 6 things that relate to education, anything that comes to mind, and then 5 or 6 things off that. Here's a mind map from the book, so you get some context around what they're actually suggesting and why I'm basically doing this. Okay, so I've just done a random mind map. I don't think it really makes any sense. I don't think I did it very well, or maybe how you're supposed to do it in the book. But anyway, the idea is that you're supposed to like totally suspend any judgment that you have and just write whatever comes to mind, like completely random. It's not even supposed to be like necessarily related to like work or careers or whatever. And I don't feel like I did that. So I'm gonna try and do better in the other 2 that I'm gonna do later in this video. And what I was doing there at the end is just trying to join up some random stuff, see what like came to surface. Some kind of weird things appeared, like, you know, doing, I guess, like PE or sports coaching on YouTube, like mentoring in YouTube, just random ideas that kind of come to the surface from this. And the point is not that they're like realistic, it's just to stretch your mind so you are getting out of your like narrow-minded thinking. Once you've got your mind map, all these random ideas of things that you love to do and things that really excite you and engage you, then you can start to mash a few together and see what you can come up with. You don't need to come up with anything that necessarily makes any sense. You just need to combine the things and see what comes to the surface. In the book, Bill and Dave go through some really interesting real-life examples, so it's definitely worth reading this if you can. I know I'm making a video series on it, but it is still worth reading it. One of the reasons generating loads of ideas like this is important is because of something Bill and Dave call anchor problems. And anchor problems are where we get attached to, or we get anchored down by one solution that we think is the best solution to fixing that problem. So maybe we think the only way to be happy in our life is to earn more money, or the only way to get to a certain job position in our company is to do this certain thing. But we can be anchored down by that way of approaching the problem. And actually coming up with loads of ideas can make us realize there's more than one way to solve the problem. So we've got one mind map now, but we're going to make two more. Okay, so I'm going to make two more mind maps. One for something that really engages me and one for something that really energizes me. Engaging being things that I feel like really engrossed in when I'm doing, like I get into like a flow state, and energizing me being things that I feel really like positive after doing. So the engaging one, I'm going to go for editing, and then the because I do get really into it, but I don't necessarily see myself doing it as a career. I just thought it'd be like a fun thing to do. And then the one that I feel really energized by is teaching. So I'm going to do that. So I finished those two, and what are my takeaways? I think it's really hard to break out of the kind of like limited mentality that I have around like the things that I could do. And I was really trying to kind of be as random as possible, and I didn't feel like I was that random. And kind of like make connections between really different things. I think that's what they talk about in the book. But yeah, the point is to just get your mind into things that engage you and excite you, and then like brainstorm around those and how you can be doing more of those things. But there's really no kind of answer here, as I talk more about in the rest of the video. So there are three outcomes to doing all this mind mapping stuff. And the first outcome is that you generate loads of ideas, find it all really useful, and you're like, oh, I've come up with loads of different stuff that I could implement and actually use. This was great. Moving on to the next kind of task. And that is less common. Most people don't have that experience. Another outcome is that you found a total waste of time and you didn't come up with any new ideas, and you didn't really understand what you're supposed to be doing, or you just found it really difficult to come up with ideas. And Bill and Dave say that this category of people haven't been able to defer their judgment of the kind of thing they might be doing. They're still boxed in by their narrow thinking about what ideas that they could come up with. These people are trying to find the right answer to their problem too quickly. And the third and most common outcome is that you found it interesting and fun to do this exercise, but you didn't really have any kind of tangible outcomes or any clear next steps for you. And if that was you, then you're doing exactly the right thing. The whole point of this exercise is to get you out of problem-solving mode and that there's one right option mode. It's to get you into the design thinking mode, where you're thinking about your life as a design problem, coming up with lots of ideas and understanding there's loads of ways to solve the problems that you're working on, and that there could be loads of different lives that you could live. Now we're really starting to understand this process of design thinking. We've come up with things that we love to do, and we've thought of loads of ways of how we can do those things. And so in the next video, we're going to come up with some real alternate lives, and this is called the Odyssey plan. I'll see you then.